GlidrCo is one of the biggest names in this community, and the OG4 is one of their most unique Balisongs. Today, we will be bringing down the hammer with a full breakdown of this Balisong. Enjoy. The OG4 is a 6061 aluminum Balisong on a bushing pivot system. It has a hardened 440C steel trainer blade that is chamfered on all edges. It weighs in at a hefty 4.6 ounces and has a heavy and noticeable handle bias. This makes this Balisong extra fun for rollovers and makes fanning a bit of an extra chore. The Balisong itself isn't as slippery as it looks. To be fair, it does look like 2 bars of soap attached with a hobbit blade on a pivot system. 2 really shiny, really good looking bars of soap. Wait. Yeah, it's pretty slippery, but I think the blocky design gives it a little bit more grip. I mean, these triangles sure don't help. They don't do much more than look cool, but they do a very good job of looking cool. I like how the triangles lead up to the blade with that uniform design. It looks really good. Now it's time to do some arithmetic, exactly what you came to a Balisong video to do. There is no jipping or texturing at all on the outside edges of this Balisong, meaning they are even more slippery than the face. Thus, you should be prepared for it to go flying at any moment. I repeat, do not do ladders with this Balisong while standing over your 2-year-old child at a birthday party eating a peanut butter snow cone. Don't do it. Your children will never see it coming, and you should. And for the arithmetic I talked about, 1 plus 1 might equal fun, but slippery plus heavy turns your hair into confetti. Honestly though, when doing the tricks this thing is good at, I don't really have a ton of problems. The grip is pretty solid during rollovers, so if you want my advice, use your own judgment and knowledge of your own personal preferences to make a decision for yourself. Let's move on to tolerances. Ah yes, tolerances. That mythical term of judgment that tells you whether or not a Balisong is good or bad. The true, unbiased answer to the question, does it suck? Well, if tolerances is your only measuring stick, then the company that's gonna stand tallest is GlidrCo. In my experience, their tolerances are unmatched. Even the Bermuda has solid tolerances, and it was like a $35 one production run. But I've been beating my OG4 like a tied up goat over the last 6 months, and the question is now posed, how do they stand? Simply said, pretty good. Noticeably not as good as my Arctic and Antarctic, but I also haven't been beating them like I want them to build a pyramid for me before I die. There's mild play and no tap, so I'd call that more than acceptable. For the sound test, I will note that this Balisong is loud. The loudest one I own by a lot, and personally, I like the sound. It's like, it reminds me of like 2 chunks of ice hitting each other, or fire and ice. But my wife hates it. She hates the sounds of most Balisongs though, so that's perfectly normal. Sometimes I take my Balisongs in my room while my wife is sleeping, and I just play with them by her ear to give her bad dreams. So here's a Kraken. And here's the OG4. Pretty loud. So how much does it cost? Well, that's a fun one. The OG retails for $155 US plus whatever shipping fees you have to pay. This is really quite a lot for a Balisong that definitely won't be everyone's cup of tea. On top of this, Glidr drops are few and far in between, making this Balisong quite hard to get. As far as the build of the Balisong goes, it has all the right ingredients of a Balisong in this price range, other than the glaring lack of grip. It's just interesting to me that a Balisong that is so tailor-made to the niche market of rollover people is this expensive. I would love to see the price drop a little lower, close to the $130, $140 range. I think a lot more people would try it, and more importantly, they would compare it to lesser Balisongs than it's compared to. Like, this is more expensive than a Prisma, and the Prisma does it all really well. And after shipping, it's going to be about the same as a squid trainer, which has that heavy handle bias pretty similar to this and about the same weight. But a squid trainer also has good grip and fans well, meaning it has all the pluses and none of the weaknesses that this might have. Now it's time for the Kraken comparison. Not to tell you which is better, because that's simply a matter of opinion, but to give you a frame of reference holding it up against the gold standard of aluminum trainers. The OG4 weighs in at 0.4 ounces more than the Kraken, and most of that weight feels like it goes towards its significant handle bias. The grip is much less noticeable, and the weight makes it feel much more slippery. The tune is likely better than the Kraken because Glidr tunes are absolutely insane. I say likely because after 6 months of having my Kraken V3, the tune is still incredible, though I have taken much better care of this than the OG4, not beating it to death, and I bought it new, whereas I bought the OG4 used. Anyways guys, that's all I got for you today. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the flip side.